Okay, so we're going to somewhat do this bar by bar, but not the whole day. So we're going to start with a day. I'm not going to tell you which one yet. You can probably tell by when I open my mice over it. But so this is what we had pre-market, and these are what the lines would be pre-market. And I could go over what I marked here, but usually Jimmy's been missed a couple of days, and usually he gives us the least his pre-market. So I thought we could start here, but this was the high. Then I marked the low, and then I marked this one here, and then I marked here right before the market opened. And the closer the market open, I think the more important they are. So this is what we had Friday, but I don't think, well, I'm pretty sure we didn't have a lot of Jimmy's targets. Now there's two ways Jimmy does his targets. The first one is the pivot points. And as you can see, this one knocked this here. So he had, according to the pivot points, would have a target at 378 or 372. That would be the first ones. And these would work just fine, but there is another way you could do it. And we'll turn these on. Now, where did these come from? Price action. We go back to the previous day. Here is where the market ended right before pre-market open. This was the high yesterday of the previous day. We could come down here. Here was a most recent support, resistance. And then this was the most recent support. So now you've done it. We've got targets. We've got our pre-market marked. We're ready for the market to open. And we just did it all based on price action from the day before. Now, I know everybody probably sees this. We'll come back to that in a minute. I didn't mark this as a target because we had this blue line right here. And it's only like the 50 cents up. So we're going to open here. And we're going to go through kind of fast. Depending on your, I guess, gamble ability or so. I wait for a little bit before I trade in the morning. You know, P Daddy recommends waiting 15 minutes. I know Ski scalps, so it's whatever your preference is. But here's a break and retest if that's your modus operandi. But it's 2 minutes in. We have a target pre-market. So my stop in this particular case would be right here. And we've moved up for 4 straight minutes. We're reaching, if you look left, a little issue right here. And you would have to expect a pullback. You just, expect it. And if it doesn't happen, fantastic. But expect it. So do a little pre-planning. So you got in this trade. If it does pull back, where do you expect it to pull back to? Right here. You're hoping this resistance becomes support. My stop would be right here. I close below, not a wick. And I know that kind of hurts you mechanical stops, but that's what I would do. We'll go through these real quick. And look, that is exactly what we got. That resistance pre-market became support. And you hit your target. And I would expect the same thing here. We're moving up, we're moving up. Where would I expect the pullback to be? We're hoping this becomes support right here. There's another break and retest. Now we're about 10 minutes in. Maybe you take this one. We have a target up here. And we hit it there. So where do we expect, if this is just a pullback for continuation, we would expect this to hold. That's what we're hoping. And then if this breaks and retests, then maybe we hit back up here. But we need this support to hold. And it didn't. So now we have this break, this retest, if it happens. But look what we have to go through. We have to get through all of this. And we didn't. We knew this was resistance here. We expected it to be support. We did get a break. If you're a little aggressive, you could consider that a retest. But you have to recognize that this was going to be an issue looking left. And it's just simple price action. We set the high, we set the higher low, we set the higher high. We're expecting, since this broke, this is our next area. We set the higher low. Our expectations would be for a higher high. That's really our expectations. But at the minimum, you know, I always tell you there's three things can happen right here. We could set the lower high and roll over. We could double top, or we could actually keep trending. So we didn't. So we come down. If we're breaking and retesting and we're not seeing anything, we just broke that low. We just broke the uptrend. I'll draw the trends at the end for those that do trends. There's really no entry for us. We're chasing if we enter here. We did set a lower high though. But still, we're chasing if we enter down here. We didn't retest. For those that play flags, you could have an entry here. We came down. Bounced here just where we thought we were going to bounce. So if we're going to continue this downtrend, we're looking for this support to hold. I'm sorry, this resistance to hold for the continuation down. This is exactly what we got. Except look at all this consolidation right here. So if you're not in a trade, there's nothing in here. Nothing that says get in a trade. But I want to go back. I forgot something, so I'm going to go back up here. We have to draw one of Jimmy's lines since Jimmy's not here. So we had it acted as support. We came down, acted as support. We broke it, come back, and now it's acting at resistance. So we draw that line. And to give you extra confirmation that it was important, this is where we stopped right at the end in the aftermarket the day before. So now in the same respect, came here and it stopped, 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 stopped. So 7 minutes. Let's draw a line there. As soon as I find it, there it is. So now, look what we've done. We've almost drawn a Jimmy line chart. We come and we hit both of our targets, the one on the high side and the one on the low side. So with this being one of our supports, we're expecting a bounce. Here is our previous high. It's a little hard to tell coming out of consolidation, but that's it. We're hoping to hold this to our continuation down. Or if we break this, then we're waiting for an up. So we did break it. We are still trending down for the day. So even on a break and retest here, for one thing, we have a target right here, which I don't think is worth trying to shoot for. I'd be more interested if we broke here, if we kept going up. Which we did there. To me, this is a little bit better reward for the risk. We are uptrending. A Jimmy's orange box. Though it's no guarantee, we're up, we're over. There's a good chance we continue. Then we hit our target there. But we are still downtrending for the day. So I'm not interested in buying calls in any of this to hold for any long period of time. I'm just playing zone to zone. So we're bouncing. Anybody know what this is? Don't diddle in the middle. Don't look for trades in any of this. We're just right in between these zones here. We are not trending technically. We came up, we come down, come up and down, up and down. We're not trending in any direction strong. Still not. So what should you be looking for in this situation? We're not doing anything. If you're a scalper, sure, we have a little bit of a downtrend. We might have an uptrend. We definitely have a ceiling that we tried to break out of and didn't. There's nothing here really telling us which way we're going next. It is 11:45, almost lunchtime. So the only way I'd be interested in calls after all of this is if we broke up here. And honestly, puts until we broke here. And look what the price action tells you. So if we come down and we break here, we obviously have this as a problem area. We have all of this that's a problem area. It could turn here, it could turn there, it could turn there, and it obviously could turn here. All that's looking left would be a problem if we came back down. The only really clean spot we got is if it breaks here. I'm not saying if it broke here, it would work, but I'm just showing you that there are problems that we have to look forward to. We will finish up here. We do get a breakdown finally. So even this break and retest here, your first thing has got to be watch out right there. And it goes all the way across. And even if that doesn't hold, you're sitting right here. I mean, it is, what, 60 cents? But there's, to my opinion, there's a bigger chance of it turning on you than it is for the breakthrough with just this information we have here. But we do continue down. We do break and retest here. This would probably be worth taking. But again, you have to be careful with this. You have to be careful with this. Because you got to figure all this consolidation, history repeats itself, might come back into play here. So if you do take this break and retest, just realize it might be a rough ride down. And be ready for a turn at any moment. There's our first problem, and guess what? It turned right there. All this consolidation right in here. We get it again. But we do eventually hit. So this trade did work for you. But you just realized that you were in for a little bit of a ride. So you couldn't let these candles scare you out. You had to expect them. We did turn here. And then we go out for the rest of the day. I said I didn't want to make this a whole day bar by bar, but so trend lining. I'll just go over this real quick. There it is. So there's your pre-market. You are already wedging. So you broke the red, you retested it, and up you again, and you could use these as targets. And then you could do it once the day started. You were trending up. We broke, we retested it. Again, you could use these targets as you're down. Then you had a bunch of these you could draw. You draw that one wick to wick. You could draw one. You probably tried to draw this one. I kind of like with a try to set up a higher low, which it tried to do here. And then you could have drawn this one. Of course, you would have deleted these. So basically, this one got here. Then it went to here. And then you could probably done it here, but we were still downtrending. This was the lower high you were trying to break to get an actual trend reversal. Anything else, you were just going back into the trend. How could you? Ta-da. And I'll stop this. You can see, I believe that trend held the rest of the day. It did. With some minor adjustments, but that downtrend pretty much lasted after this the rest of the day. But you can use price action to get the same lines Jimmy's going. Just go back the day before. Find your support and resistance lines. Find the areas. And then we have a chart that almost as good as Jimmy's. Not quite as good. He is better at it than I am. But at least it would give you some semblance of a target if you needed one, where it might turn. Is it a reversal or is it just bouncing and coming back? And you can use it even in here. So we came up, we ran this, we went sideways, we ran this. Where do you think it's going to come back to? We know this is going to give us a problem, but this was the area right here. That was the last high, so we're expecting it to become support, and it did. We set a higher high, so still technically uptrending. You know, where do you expect it to pull back to? This area right in here. This one would be the first one, which was close. This would be the area I would expect to hold, and it did. So we're expecting a higher high, which we didn't get. We double topped. So that should have been warning number one, that we weren't continuing higher. And we didn't. But if Jimmy's not here, this was what this whole one was about. So if Jimmy's not here, we can still draw the lines. We can still get a general idea just based off our price action from the previous day of where we might be heading to this day. And if we'd have broke down here, you know, you could look back and still got some days. If this wasn't here, you could use the Fib points And if that wasn't here, there was no fib points under here, go to a higher time frame. Go to the 5 minute, see if you could look back. Go to the 15-minute, see if you could look back. Pretty sure in the 30-minute you can look back and find something, but usually 15 is about as high as I could go. P Daddy at lunchtime tells you, look at the higher time frames. I use the 3 because I get 2 extra candles. But he uses the 5. So you could have those same trends you could look for. This is the don't diddle in the middle part. And using the higher time frame here, you could see if you didn't diddle in the middle, we never broke that daily downtrend. So you should have been a tad bit put bias most of this day. But that's all I have for today. If we have questions, I haven't been looking. I actually put
You're good, man.
I put the Discord on the other screen, so.
You did a real good job, man. No question.
But like I said, that's, Jimmy might get sick. I'm not sure about what's going to happen Monday. I know he's got another doctor's appointment with his daughter. So this is a way where you could just take the pre-market data, a little bit of yesterday's data, and mark your chart up, have some targets.
Is you have someone asking if any chance of doing another day example?
Yeah. If you don't mind, I'll stop the recording for this, though, so it doesn't get too long, and we'll do another one.
Yeah, man. Great job going through everything, explaining it all. And I love how you look left and explain, to people if they take a break and retest, make sure you look left because, it could run into trouble there. And as you could see on the chart, it did run into trouble. So people got to keep that in mind whenever they're playing a break and retest or whatever strategy. Make sure you look left to see if there's any resistance or support because more than likely it'll happen again.
Drinker, can you repeat all that stuff you said about things? All right. Well, I'm going to stop the recording now so it's not too long. I appreciate it, and we'll go over another day.